MMA DNA. We're here with Julio Arce, UFC Featherweight contender, 2-0 in the UFC. He's taking on Sheymon Moraes at UFC 230 in New York in MSG. And first of all, Julio, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually just got back from training and I just trying to grab a quick cup of coffee before I go teach.
Awesome. Special kind of coffee or just regular?
Just regular coffee, just can't keep me going right now.
Awesome, man. Yeah, let's talk about let's talk about your fight. How did it came together? Sheymon Moraes, Brazilian fighter. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Just tell me how this fight came together.
You know what? Like this was the, I know there's a lot of people trying to get fights lately, and I know like for the matchmakers, that's a bit of a pain in itself because we're some of us want to fight, others are turning away fights, and like for myself and my teammate Jay, I know they were having a hard time trying to find somebody to match us up with, and Shaman came up and we're like, yo, let's take that fight. If he's down to fight, I'm down to fight. Let's do it. It's like I just want to get in there and just go for it.
Awesome, man. Let's go back to June 1st in Utica, where you took on Daniel Taymor on the main card. That was a great fight. You won in the third round by submission. Uh, how was that overall feeling? Was the second time for you in the UFC, along with a teammate again? This time was Jimmy Rivera. First time was Shane Burgos. Tell me a little bit more about that experience.
It was great. Like I've never been to Utica, but once I went there, I found my comfort zone, and then once I got it going, I was able to just keep progressing and progressing. Eventually, just get the finish, and then from there, I was like, I know like they usually come around in November for MSG, so I was really just pushing for that. At least this will be like one fight, get this fight in before the year ends.
Awesome, man. I've talked to you before, and I call you now Mr. Trifecta. Can you explain to the people why I call you Mr. Trifecta?
Well, everyone calls me now Mixer Trifecta because I get to say that I did all three disciplines. I got to do the New York Golden Gloves in 2011 and win the New York Golden Gloves at Madison Square Garden. When I didn't earn a contract in the Dana White Contender Series, I took a fight in Glory Kickboxing at MSG. I got to win that and fought a very tough opponent. And now I get to finally do MMA at the Garden under the biggest promotion, the UFC. So it's even better because now it's like I get to say I did all three and under very big promotions. The Golden Gloves, which is the biggest amateur promotion, Glory, biggest kickboxing promotion, and now the UFC. So this. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but for me, like it's a very huge accomplishment. So it's pretty exciting.
It's awesome, man. Does that make that? How do you say that? Is that the circle you wanted? This is actually the triangle, but
Yeah.
it's crazy, man, that you have done boxing, kickboxing, and now will do MMA and MSG. Does it extra excite you to be in MSG fighting? Because for you, you live in New York. That's like, is it the pinnacle of fighting in MSG?
Yeah. Like one, it's huge accomplishment, but I'm also just super excited to do it because it's in my backyard. I don't have to. I mean, I'm literally like 20 minutes away from the Garden, which is awesome. It's right in my backyard. So it's pretty great because it's like you said, it's the pinnacle of fighting where many big fights went down, and I get to be part of history and join in on that and do it under the biggest promotion, which is the UFC.
Definitely, man. And let's talk about a little bit more about your fight. Sheymon Moraes, Brazilian. He's 1-1 in the UFC. His last fight was against Matt Sales. He won that fight by decision. What do you know about your opponent, and where do you think you can be better at him in your fight against him?
I mean, look, he is my next tough opponent in front of me. Like each time he gets, tougher and tougher. So he is the next obstacle. He's very well rounded. I mean, his two losses came to very, very tough opponents. So I know he's going to be there ready to bring it, and I'm going to be there ready to bring it. So it's just going to be styles clashing and just seeing who comes out on top. So I can't wait for that.
Definitely, man. You always work very hard. I see clips from what you're posting on Instagram always. Is there something specifically you worked on more than you do normally before this fight?
I think it's like just for me, it's always really pushing my conditioning, just making sure that when I go in there, because he has gone the distance with a lot of people, so I know I'm gonna be in there trying to push it more and more and more and more, and just eventually get to the point where I can either drown him in the later round, or and then look for the finish, or just get into my rhythm, get into my groove, and just go from there and start picking apart.
Awesome, man. How much support will you have in MSG? Because, like you said, it's very close to where you live. How much people do you expect, along with two teammates on the car as well?
Oh man, we're gonna have a crowd of people there. It's gonna be insane. I don't even know like numbers wise how many people are gonna be there, but it's just gonna be a lot of great support. There's gonna be a lot of energy, a lot of excitement in there. So we're all just ready to go. I mean, it's approaching, but it's approaching so quickly.
It,
Time's flying.
is it like Long Island like? Because it's the third time like Tiger Schulman fighters are three on the card. Last time it was Jimmy instead of you, but along with Lyman, Good, and Shane Burgos. Um, does it bring something extra for you? Like I said, you will have a huge support over there, but is it something you guys yeah, do together? How can you explain that?
Um, I think it makes the morale just go up higher. Everyone's excited. We're there to see each other. Like we're literally in the training room every single day, and then we get to see each of our teammates just go out there and shine and just really showcase what we've been working on in the gym itself. So it's great to see that because we're there to make each other better, and we get to see our game plans come out, and like our styles come out, and just it's just like morale's just super high. So it's great.
Awesome, man. I also want to ask you about your Colombian heritage. I know you're very proud of that. Recently, there was a Colombian MMA card with Brave Combat Federation. How is MMA now in Colombia? Do you get lots of support from there? And how is the MMA over there?
It's really starting to just to it's really starting to just really like blow up over there because before it's like you talk about MMA and people weren't like it kind of remained under the radar, like it wasn't like a big thing, and now I think with me and also Ryan Barberena who just fought, like it's great exposure, and then people like have been messaging me, like I'm from Cali or Medellin, and like people just training from over there, and they're like I'm like wow, I didn't realize like it's been just like so under the radar. Not a lot of people have been noticing it, but now it's just really on the spot, which is great, and it's great the amount of support I received from there, and a lot of people just who been training there for years are just like hitting me up and like, hey, what's up? I'm like, this is awesome. So I'm glad I can help put Colombia on the spot, and helping the sport grow over there, because I think it's an untapped source over there. I think there's probably great talent over there that just hasn't probably been overlooked, and maybe some great talent's gonna come out of there soon.
Definitely, maybe it can be sort of an ambassador for MMA over there in Colombia. It would be great, no?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Then we'll talk to you about the placing, the card, where you will fight. I know, for example, your teammate Shane Burgers is always very vocal. He wants to be on the televised prelims. Where do you expect to be on the card, and where do you want to be on the card?
I think I'd rather be on the televised part. I know like the whole main card is stacked, so we're
Yeah,
definitely not going to spot on that. But somewhere on the televised card, look, right now at this point, it doesn't matter. I just can't wait till that day and just go out in that cage and just get to fight the garden and enjoy this experience, and just really, really just kind of take it all in, take all the energy in from everybody, and just the excitement, and just let it all go in that cage.
awesome. And last question: what can people expect when they tune in November in MSG watching Julio Arce against Sheymon Moraes?
Just going to be seeing, fireworks, technical stand up, and just going to be just one exciting fight, just going back and forth. And I can't wait.
Thanks again, Julio. It's always great to talk to you. If you want to plug some sponsors, teammates, whatever. We'll let people know where they can find you. Take your moment, man.
Yeah, I just want to give shout outs to my team. Tiger Schulman's. They've been, you know, my team for 17 years now. So they, helped me come to where I am today, from being a fat little chubby kid to now being, a UFC fighter. And, I can never thank enough for that. All my coaches, Tiger Schulman's, our boxing coach, Ray Velez, my strength and conditioning coach, Asia Campbell, who, helped me really step up my training even more. Um, Also, NutriBio, Prover PT, they're keeping me healthy, so when I go through fight camp, I'm not injured. Also, Eat Clean Bro, Tiger Fight Gear Pro Shop, and just all my students, all my supporters, my family, who they've always been there since day one when I started fighting. My sisters, everybody, I love them very, very much. My manager, Dave Fish, who's been helping me, I trust him to be able to get the fights for me and just trust the process. Get Ounce Water, who they've been supplying me with a lot of water. So then when this one less thing to think about, which is great. So for all my supporters, all my sponsors, I can't thank them enough. I always appreciate the support.